This meeting is being held in accordance to the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act. Annual notice of this meeting was published in the Union County Local Source and the Newark Star Ledger. Said notice was posted in the municipal building, and a copy is on file with Office of the Borough Clerk. Fire exits are located in the directions I am indicating. If you are alerted for a fire, please move in a calm, orderly manner to the nearest smoke-free exit. Proper notice have been given. The Borough Clerk is directed to include this statement in the minutes of this meeting. Mr. Clerk, please call a roll.
Councilman Petrosky.
Here.
Councilman Johnson.
Present.
Councilman Signorello.
Here.
Councilman Robina.
Present.
Councilman Patel.
Here.
Council President Lyons.
Here.
And Mayor Signorello is absent, and you have a quorum.
Great. Mr. Clerk, please lead us in the opening prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Eternal God, grant us thy help in all our duties and perplexities. We ask for thy guidance. Give us thy protection in our dangers and sorrows. Grant us thy peace. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There are no communications for review this evening. At this time, we're going to be doing proclamations and presentations. We would like to start with Councilman Johnson.
Thank you.
It's up to you.
You the man. Testing. Is it on? Good. First and foremost, I wanted to say the reason why I brought this to the forefront is that I've been an active member of the Diversity and Inclusion Committee for at least over 5 years as a resident, way prior to me running for office. And so when I looked and I moved into this community, one of the first things I noticed was the Diversity Committee, and I was astonished, and I was like stoked. So I wrote an email to the mayor saying, hey, Mayor, I want to join the committee. And then, lo and behold, now I'm here as an elected official. But I really couldn't join or even have that opportunity to join if it wasn't for a person like you, for being a trailblazer, creating and bringing forth such a wonderful committee. At least I believe in its values, and I have been public with it, also being multicultural myself, having mixed parents and things of that nature. So I wanted to recognize you. I was thinking about this since last year, and it was just on my heart, and I was like, man, if this is my last term in office, I want to at least be able to honor the person that I truly admire for creating this. So I had to find out who did it. I reached out to Andrew. I'm like, doing all this research, and I found out, long behold, I found out it was you. So I just wanted to honor you and say thank you on behalf of myself and my family, Roselle Park, the committee. The committee has been very active in this community. We went from talking to police officers, organizing meetings, public meetings, with Danny McCafferty when Chief McCafferty was here. We've done, a lot of events, Juneteenth, a lot of community events, anti-bullying in youth. So all of this, I think, was made possible. It would not be us without a trailblazer like you. So please give a round of applause to former Councilwoman Charlene Story for creating this. Do you have any words? And I just wanted to thank you. Let me thank you personally.
Well, thank you. I think you've done a fabulous job taking this concept and running with it, really. I give you a lot of credit for that. And really, my point in doing this was just for people to have an opportunity to perhaps meet with and get to know people who had different backgrounds, maybe didn't think exactly the way they did. It's easy to get into a silo of thinking, everybody thinks the way I do. My husband and I think of myself as multicultural, but only because going back in my family, everybody seemed to marry outside of their ethnic group and outside of their religion. And then I never figured out whether we just like something different or we want to make our parents mad at us. Because that happened too. But basically, I think that we kind of forget that there are different points of view, different backgrounds. My husband and I have been, for a while there, we're very active with situation in Northern Ireland and parades. And although I was brought up Catholic, I am not a Catholic anymore, but I was pretty amazed to hear people say things like, everybody knows that Catholics can't do math.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? Really?
Yeah.
So, you have to realize that everybody isn't coming at you from the same place, and maybe they need to be educated, and maybe they just need to sit down and have a dinner, go to the diner, have a cup of coffee with somebody who isn't exactly like they are. So thank you very much. Very
No,
nice.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you
It's
very
nice to
much.
meet you.
Yes, thank you.
Can we get a picture? Can someone take a picture for me? I wanted to, I'm sorry.
Greg, did you take a picture?
He got his
He
picture.
doesn't hear that well anymore.
Well, I wanted
so-
to take one and put it on my phone.
Oh, you have a phone? Yeah. He doesn't. I don't know if
This
he
for a
has his
second.
hearing aids.
No, just a
Can I just say, I just want to say real quick, council president to council president, give it up for this woman. And I want to just honor you, honestly, because it was just a simple thing. I personally did not know. And when I did find out, I was like, wow. And then when I found out that Councilman Gregg was honoring you, I said, this is a perfect opportunity. So it's amazing.
Reading those things out. Right?
You know what it takes. But I just wanted to honor that.
All right.
And honor you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, please.
I got to ask
Of
permission.
course, no, of course.
I just wanted to say this is very dear to me. Diversity, it means something to me, even more so than even this council seat. So I just really appreciate being able to have this platform to extend those, and I would have been remiss if I didn't do that, and I just wanted to do that. So thank you very much, and I just want to continue to work with this community so we can grow together. So thank you.
Awesome.
Okay, now it's my turn. Thank God. This is actually right on spot for me here. Okay, so the next certificate of recognition is for someone that, before I say his name, something had happened tragically. There was an accident in Roselle Park, and this person jumped in. And what came into my mind was he literally did not hesitate. He helped someone. There was an accident. From what I understand, he was on the ground. And this person jumped in. He specifically, with compassion, with kindness. And once I found out about it, I reached out to Andrew and I said, we need to do something for him. I called it a Good Samaritan Award. And what comes to mind is the Good Samaritan, if no one knows about it, the people with titles pass by when there was someone in need. But the one that was just humble and saw the need met the need. And so this is just an example that I want to actually just say to society, remember, when someone is hurting, to actually be there. And if you can help out, it resonates. So this person, he was actually the animal control officer for 7 years and part of Board of Education for 20 years. Can we give a round of applause for Alex Balaban? Alex, thank you so much. You jumped in, and like I said, I just don't want to go without recognizing you. If you want to say a few words, please.
You know, I moved to Roselle Park in '89 and actually had to leave, with sadness in 2017 when my mother passed away. I moved into her house and sold our condo here. But let me tell you, I packed my schedule very tight with all sorts of activities in Roselle Park over the years. The amount of volunteer hours that I put into Roselle Park was immense. But I enjoyed it. It was rewarding. You know, not everything you do in life is valued in money.
Yes.
You know, there's intrinsic value in some of the actions that you take in life. And that's what I always scoped myself to do. You know, so whether a person is in trouble or any animal is in trouble, I'm always prepared. I'm always prepared to meet the expectations that God set for me. And that is to intervene if I possibly can. You know, not to do the impossible, but to do everything what I could under human constraints.
And just take a moment and let people know what happened. Did you found someone on the ground? Just in
Basically
general,
what happened, it was a child, you know, a juvenile, a male juvenile. You know, I'm not going to say the name or anything. And he was basically trying to cross the street at a certain intersection, and a car from out of state hit him, you know, and in my mind, because I witnessed a lot of hit and run accidents when I even lived in Newark, you know, and I was on the, you know, special police there and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm sort of attuned to acting, you know, in those regards. But basically what happened was he was hit, and I saw that from a distance because I was exiting the diner at that time. And so I was driving west at that time on Locust Street, and I saw him like a block away. And then I see the car like moving forward. I just had an inclination that the driver may have thought of like fleeing the scene or maybe not. But nobody extended any effort to help this kid, you know, and the injuries were kind of substantial in several areas. So basically I triaged him, you know, I basically elevated, you know, his extremities, this and that, and I comforted him. He told me to hold his hand, so I held his hand, you know, and he felt at ease. And I called 911 also, simultaneously. So they came about 5 minutes later and took over the scene.
Well, this specifically says, this recognition is presented to Alexander Balaban for his selfless acts of kindness and compassion while rendering emergency aid to a resident in need of help during a motor vehicle incident that occurred on May 4th, 2025. So I give you, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And give a round of applause. Here you go. Thank you.
Roselle Park has a big heart, so this means a lot to me.
We adore
God bless
you.
you
Thank
guys.
you.
God
Roselle
bless
Park,
you
I hope
guys.
you hear that. Here, let's take a picture. Let's take a picture real quick. Thank you.
Thank you.
I can leave it here?
I just moved it.
Over here.
How are you? Good, good, thank you.
Okay, there are no meeting minutes for approval this evening. May I have a motion that bills and payrolls be not read and passed for payment?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
May I have a motion to open the public portion on agenda items only?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
If you would like to speak, please come forward to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. I see no one. Okay. May I have a motion to close the public portion on agenda items only?
So moved.
Oh,
Strike that.
strike that.
Milt Woodruff, 134 Bender Avenue, Roselle Park. My question pertains to Resolution 14625. They're talking about the 31 East Westfield Avenue. And they're talking about buying that. Is that under contract now, or is it going to be a contract?
It
Yes.
will be if it gets passed tonight.
What's that?
We
It
can't.
will be under contract if the resolution is adopted. It has not been authorized, the contract has not been authorized yet. The resolution would authorize the
Great
contract.
idea, because quite frankly, with 20 or 25 parking spots there, it'd be a big help in town. And also, my son works for an engineering firm, and he also deals with some developers. And developers indicate that property there would probably worth $1.5 million, $2 million later on, maybe more. So it seems like a good idea.
You like the idea, Mr. Woodruff?
Pardon me?
You like the idea?
That's
I think it's a great idea.
No, all right.
Property, well, compliments are allowed too, as well as criticism.
Absolutely. That's why. This is great.
And also, is the bank going to rent back the property for use for the ATM?
So, you want me to answer that?
Yes, please.
So, there's another resolution on the agenda.
Yeah, I saw that.
That would be the lease back of the ATM. So, yes.
What is that going to be for, 5 years, a year or two?
It's a two-year initial term for $18,000 a year.
For 2 years?
Well, it's a year, it would be $18,000 per year. The initial term is 2 years.
10 years?
Two.
Two is the initial.
Okay. No, I think it's a great idea. And if the experts are right, and it's worth $2 million later on, no big deal. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anyone else? Okay. May I have a motion to close the public portion on agenda items only?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
May I have a motion to accept the reports of departments as submitted?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Clerk, please read ordinance number 2820 by title.
Yes, Council President. Ordinance number 2820 is an ordinance for second reading and public hearing, an ordinance amending Chapter 7, Section 39, Subsection 2 of the Code of the Borough of Roselle Park entitled Handicap Parking on Streets for Private Residences.
May I have a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance number 2820?
So moved. Second.
May I have a motion to,
Oh, yeah. You just got to ask for comment if anyone has any comment.
Oh.
Sorry,
any comments or discussion
from the public.
from the public? Sorry about that. Not seeing anyone? Okay. May I have a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance number 2820?
So moved. Second.
May I have a motion
All in
to?
favor?
Hmm?
Sorry. You just have to ask all in favor.
Oh, I don't see that.
I know. Just
Okay.
ask all in favor.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
May I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2820?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, you got to ask. It's, yeah, sorry. So you have to ask for discussion. Is there any discussion?
Okay. I gotta write this stuff down. Okay, any discussion? No? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You can do that.
Yes.
Ordinance is adopted.
Okay, ordinance is adopted. Mr. Clerk, please read ordinance number 2821 by title.
Yes, Council President, the ordinance 2821 is an ordinance for introduction, an ordinance amending Chapter 40, Section 3004 of the Code of the Borough of Roselle Park entitled Fences, with specific amendments to subsection A thereof.
May I have a motion to approve ordinance number 2821 for introduction and fix the date for second reading and public hearing as June 19, 2025?
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion? Okay, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Petrosky?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson?
Yes.
Councilman Signorella?
Yes.
Councilman Rabina?
Yes.
Councilman Patel?
Yes.
Council President Lyons?
Yes.
6 votes in the affirmative, Council President, the ordinance is introduced.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, please read ordinance number 2822 by title.
Yes, Council President, ordinance number 2822 is an ordinance for introduction, an ordinance amending Chapter 40, Section 3005 of the Code of the Borough of Roselle Park entitled Driveways with specific amendments to subsection B thereof.
May I have a motion to approve ordinance number 2822 for introduction and fix the date for second reading and public hearing as June 19, 2025?
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yeah, can you just explain the overall ordinance, please, Andrew, if you want?
Yes.
So the ordinance basically unifies all the fees for driveways. It used to be split between different costs for one-car driveways, two-car driveways, and things like that. This would just make driveway permits universally one cost.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Petrosky.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Signorello.
Yes.
Councilman Rabina.
Yes.
Councilman Patel.
Yes.
Council President Lyons.
Yes.
6 votes in the affirmative, Council President. The ordinance is introduced.
All matters listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of the governing body so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda as part of the general orders. Mr. Clerk, please read all resolutions by title.
Yes, Resolution 14325 is granting permission to American Legion Post 60 to operate a social affair permit granted by the New Jersey Division of Alcoholic Beverage Control in Michael J. Morey Park as part of the Borough of Roselle Park's 2025 Juneteenth celebration. Resolution 14425 is authorizing the treasurer to issue one check totaling $1,716.89 payable to one lien holder on one property and one check totaling $600 from the tax collector's premium account. Resolution 14525 is accepting the resignation of Ivo Trinajestic as alternate member number 3 of the Municipal Land Use Board. Resolution 14625 is authorizing the mayor and borough clerk to execute an agreement of sale for the purchase of property identified as Block 910, Lot 8 of the municipal tax map, commonly known as 31 East Westfield Avenue. Resolution 14725 is terminating the professional services contract with Shane Schaefer, P.C., as 2025 tax appeal attorney due to the closure of the firm. Resolution 14825 is approving Murphy Orlando, LLC, to succeed Shane Schaefer, P.C., as tax appeal attorney for the balance of calendar year 2025. Resolution 14925 is co-sponsoring the 2026 Arts Festival with Roselle Park Loves Art, Inc. Resolution 15025 is appointing Carlos Gonzalez Salinas as a member of the Roselle Park Fire Department. Resolution 15125 is appointing Todd Literate as a captain within the Roselle Park Fire Department. Resolution 15225 is authorizing the purchase of a combined shelter, restroom, and storage structure for installation in Acra Park from RCP Shelters, Inc., pursuant to Educational Service Commission of New Jersey Co-op Contract Number 24/2501, in an amount not to exceed $319,921.75. Resolution 15325 is authorizing the purchase of playground equipment for installation in Acra Park from MRC Inc. pursuant to Educational Services Commission of New Jersey Co-op Contract Number 24/2501, in an amount not to exceed $951,820.01. Resolution 15425 is authorizing the purchase of playground surfacing for installation in Acra Park from Rubber Cycle LLC pursuant to New Jersey State Contract Number 16-Fleet-00131, in an amount not to exceed $442,673.40. Resolution 15525 is authorizing the Borough Clerk to auction unclaimed vehicles. Resolution 15625 is authorizing the 2025 Farmers Market Preview on June 18th, 2025 and June 25th, 2025. Resolution 15725 is terminating the professional services contract with Consulting and Municipal Engineers LLP as 2025 licensed site remediation professional. Resolution 15825 is authorizing the award of a non-fair and open professional services contract with Matrix New World Engineering, Land Surveying, and Landscape Architecture, PC, as licensed site remediation professional for the balance of calendar year 2025. Resolution 15925 is authorizing issuance of a limousine license to Sama Mohammed. Resolution 16025 is authorizing the mayor and borough clerk to execute a lease agreement for the ATM pad located on Block 910, Lot 8 of the municipal tax map, commonly known as 31 East Westfield Avenue. Resolution 16125 is accepting the 2024 municipal audit report. Resolution 16225 is approving the corrective action plan for the 2025 municipal audit. Resolution 16325 is approving the insertion of a recycling tonnage grant as a special item of revenue in the 2025 municipal budget in the amount of $7,348.57. Resolution 16425 is approving the insertion of a click it or ticket grant as a special item of revenue in the 2025 municipal budget in an amount of $7,000. Resolution 16525 is approving the insertion of a National Opioid Settlement Fund grant as a special item of revenue in the 2025 municipal budget in an amount of $1,035.96. Resolution 16625 is approving the insertion of a Union County Means Green Community Garden grant as a special item of revenue in the 2025 municipal budget in an amount of $250. And Resolution 16725 is authorizing a $50,000 increase to the open-ended goods and services contract with Rich Tree Service, Inc. for tree trimming, pruning, and removal services pursuant to New Jersey State Contract Number 18-DPP-00645, reflecting a revised contract amount not to exceed $100,000.
Do any members wish to have items removed from the consent agenda?
Yes, 146 and 160.
60. May I have a motion to approve the resolutions remaining on the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we're pulling 146?
146 is the
Okay.
You just need a motion on 146
May I have a motion, how do we,
to approve 146.
to approve 146-25?
So move. Second. Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yeah, as far as the $900,000 for the parking lot itself, is it $900,000 just for the parking lot, or is it with the new meters installed, or that's the cost on top of the 900?
So, can I answer?
Yes, please.
So it's, the acquisition price is actually $875,000, right? The $900,000, that number comes in the budget. We budgeted slightly more than the acquisition cost to account for title work and closing costs.
Got it.
To cover it, but the actual acquisition of the property entirely is $875,000. That does not include metering or striping. So it is just the acquisition of the property in total.
And then as far as is it gonna stay the same? Like ATM's still gonna be there? The parking spot, is it gonna increase, decrease? Like,
So the way it's configured right now will roughly stay the same. We may be able to install some additional parking, but the ATM, the way it's configured, will stay exactly as it is.
Gotcha. And then, do we know how much it's gonna cost us to, do the striping, the installation of the meters?
So I don't believe we'll be installing an additional meter at this location because nobody would be staying directly in that lot. So the plan would be just to number those spots consecutively with the on-street numbers. So I'm not sure where we left off on the numbers, but let's say it's 200.
Yeah.
So if there's 25 spots there, I forget actually the number of spaces, but let's say it's 25, those would be, 220, 201, 202, 203, and it would be only the cost of those striping or the thermoplastic.
Yeah.
Thermoplastic is probably more expensive than you would imagine. It won't be more than $5,000, I would say, to rough estimate, just off the top of my head. It'll be a few $1,000s, say, to stripe it.
And then as far as the meter, we're just gonna leave the one on the street.
Yeah, so the meters in Roselle Park are configured so you're able to pay any spot at any meter.
Any of those meters.
Right.
Okay.
So if you say you park at the gazebo and you walk down to the corner of Chestnut Street by the Valley Bank, say, or the old Valley Bank, you should be able to pay for spot number 1, which is at the gazebo lot at that
Got it.
meter.
Okay. That makes
So,
sense.
and again, just to reiterate, the reason we're not installing or we don't have an eye to install an additional meter there is because no one's staying in that lot, right? There's not like a business in that lot. They have to leave the lot.
Yeah.
And then go to a business.
Got it. Okay. And then as far as we're gonna lease it, and then we're getting 18,000 back as far as leasing it.
Correct. with an escalator after the initial term, I believe, of 3%. I'd have to look. I'd have to look at the agreement.
Got it. Yeah, I just don't think that, it's worth, because it would take like 50 years for us to get that, or a return on investment of $900,000 as we're opening parking right across the street. But that's all I had. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion?
Look at what happened with Sullivan Chevrolet 10, 15 years ago. $1.3 million is on sale for it. The borough didn't make a move to purchase it. The developer did, and now we've got the 345
Yeah.
apartments.
Is the spot zoned for redevelopment zone itself, or no?
The property that we're buying?
Yeah.
No.
Wait, is there whatever happens here, but could have been set that as a redevelopment zone and then set up as can they build a parking deck? Like,
Talking to Mike, I can't hear you, sorry. John.
sorry. But I was gonna ask, if we go the route of setting that place up as a redevelopment zone, can we go and have a developer build a parking deck or something to increase the number of spots? And is there an option?
You would. I mean, is it's
I
so
know,
everything's an option, right? I just want to qualify that by saying is it a viable option or not is unknown, right? Is there a developer willing to build it? The property itself is a little more than a third of an acre. I think it's
Yeah, it's pretty
0.39 acres. It's roughly 100 frontage and 100 in the rear by 165 feet deep at the deepest point. I only know this because I looked at the appraisal before I came to the meeting. I don't know what the economics are of building a parking deck that small. So there's unlimited options for the property, particularly when the borough owns it. I just don't know if the economics would make sense for a developer to build a parking deck at that one lot.
Got it. And then, just so, is it possible for us to put if it's approved, we buy it, or can we put do not enter or something? Because people who are trying to go in the lot and come back on Westville, I feel like you might not be able to see because of the parking on the street. Maybe we could, put some do not enter signs.
From Westfield Avenue or from?
Yeah, so you go into Westfield Avenue and then park there and then come out to a parking lot to go back on Westfield Avenue. It's because there's cars parked on the street, it's kind of hard to see.
You got the blind
Yeah,
spot coming out.
yeah.
You don't want
Well,
people
I think the short answer is we can work through any number of.
Yeah.
I think we work through any number of those logistics. I actually don't fully understand. I do conceptually understand what you're saying, but I don't know if you mean not flowing out onto Westfield Avenue. We can control the flow of traffic on that property if we own it.
Okay, yeah, but that's all I had.
I have a couple comments. So, John, you bring up a good point. Exiting out onto Westfield is tough because of the hump in Westfield Ave and depending on the part of
Is that what you
yes.
meant?
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually
Yeah.
for me to understand.
And we could do anything, but I just support this move. We had a resident speak on behalf of tonight. We are purchasing an asset. It could be very beneficiary to the downtown, to the future of our town. And like I said, everything has a price, and who knows, down the road, we could get double the money for it or somebody, but I think this is a good thing for the borough, and I'll support it, and let's move on. Thank you.
Council President, if I may?
Yes, please.
I just wanted to say that. So I have a couple comments on this as well, because I just want clarity. Again, I get to have this moment to have clarity one more time. So with 146-25, I'm not against the project. I think that, the parking is very valuable. Is close to the veterans, it's close to businesses. Any additional parking in Roselle Park is a win in my view. So initially, when I was voting on this on the budget, that was just because I was in disagreement on how to purchase it, but I'm not in a disagreement for purchasing this. So I'm going to be positive and go for this as well. This is a good thing, and I echo the at large.
Thank you. Any further?
All good.
All right, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Petrosky?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson?
Yes.
Councilman Signorella?
Yes.
Councilman Ravina?
Yes.
Councilman Patel?
No.
Council President Lyons?
Yes.
5 votes in the affirmative, 1 in the negative. The resolution is adopted.
May I have a motion to approve 160?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
I think we discussed it.
Okay, please call the roll.
Councilman Petrosky?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson? Councilman Signorella?
Yes.
Councilman Ravina?
Yes.
Councilman Patel?
No.
Council President Lyons?
Yes.
5 votes in the affirmative, 1 in the negative. The resolution is adopted.
Okay. Okay, now reports of Borough Council and committees. Councilman Petrowski, please go.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay. First of all, I'm going to send my condolences out to Robbie Orsini, his family. Robbie was a 1970 graduate of Roselle Park High School. As a young kid, he lived down the street from me, and I remember days at Sherman School, and I remember watching him play sports when he went to high school. So my condolences go out to him and his family, and also Vincent Marino, okay? On May 3rd, I attended the car wash ribbon cutting ceremony. It looked like I was very pleased. I actually went for a car wash, and beautiful. My truck hasn't looked that good since I bought it. I thought they did an excellent job. And I got a few calls from residents that also said the same thing. So good luck to them. On the 5th, I attended the fire department meeting. Basically discussions about the new audition with the fire on Laurel Avenue, which is Faytooth Firehouse, and also they need service to some of the buildings, so that was discussed. On the 14th, I attended the Recreation Committee meeting. Again, I want to thank Tina and your group with the Easter egg hunt. Excellent. Very well run. We're going to make a couple changes next year, but I thought it was very well run, and like that. And they're going to have an event. It looks like it's going to be the 20th, right, of June, and it's the end of the season and beginning of summer. They're going to have something at the gazebo right across from the post office. So word will get out. We need to get approval of the town and also the police. So more to come on that. Today I attended the joint sewer meeting, very quick meeting, renew some contracts and everything like that. So American Legion, again, help them out as most you can. My famous saying is, we needed them and they need us now. So, but I will get, for the next meeting, I want to give a certificate. One of the gentlemen came down, Richard was his name, yeah, came down and put the door up when you first come in, removed the sliding door. Basically, some of the women, they said they never knew who was coming in. If you have to vote 60, you know what I'm talking about. But at least now there'll be a glass door, and you can see who's coming in. So I want to thank him very much. And we're just waiting for the plumbers to come in, and we're going to redo the bathrooms there. So it's going to look very nice once it gets done. If you need to get a hold of me, you get me at jpetrosky@rosellepark.net, 908-666-7821, and that's my report, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, and residents. Please bear with me. I got to read off my phone, my report. May 21st is World Day for Cultural Diversity for Dialogue and Development, which is recognized by the United States and established by United Nations. The purpose is to encourage people around the world to celebrate different cultures and learn from one another. But the overall main goal is to promote peace and understanding and by encouraging and respect for all cultures. Lastly, this day also supports working together across cultural differences to build a more fair and sustainable world for yet again everyone. Therefore, I just wanted this community to be aware of what this day symbolizes and actually acknowledge this day in my report, affirming my support. So that was one of the reasons why I wanted to honor former council woman Charlene Story, because she helped create that diversity committee here for Roselle Park, and I really believe in the message that is trying to say here, proposing peace and understanding. But no committee and no club or no group or no entity in the world is perfect, and so there's still a lot of tweaking and amending, and this day will just get better and better. So I just wanted to thank her, and I appreciate her for coming here and allowing me to honor her. Now for a couple of community announcements. I just wanted to remind residents that we are coming to the final stretch of paving and milling Avon and Berwyn. I also share some of the sentiments expressed by residents at this time regarding this long, intensive, and exhausting process, but paving should be completed soon. So I'm humbly asking everyone to please be patient, and hopefully the weather permits the borough to finally finish these projects. Sheesh. Andrew, do we have anything with that real quick? Yeah.
So we were originally, the paving was scheduled for yesterday and today, obviously, today and tomorrow. It didn't rain very much today. Unfortunately, though, what happens, these contractors don't only work for Roselle Park, they work for, so if they have work that was set up yesterday in another town, they go in their order, so they're delayed. So we have tentatively on the calendar for next week.
Okay.
We are definitely on their calendar for next week.
Perfect.
There will be an announcement of those dates, probably tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, Andrew.
Those will be weather permitting again.
Weather permitting. Sheesh. But what, May for showers it should be. Yeah. So on another note, the Multicultural and Heritage Festival has been postponed. The new date of this event will be Saturday, September 27th, 2025. My apologies, and I'm looking forward to seeing the community there. Now, to our sorrow, my heart and condolences goes out to Robin Case and his family. Robin served in the United States Army, a longtime post officer and member of the American Legion's Post 60, as well as our beloved community here in Roselle Park. The American Legion plans to do a repass at the post soon, so information will follow. It'll be on their Facebook page if anyone knows Robin, or at council, you guys are also welcome to come. So as soon as we get that information, we'll put it out. But Robin, you will be missed, but not forgotten. Thank you for serving our country. You are a true hero. I think he served around the Vietnam era. I'm trying to confirm that now. Speaking of heroes, the Hometown Heroes brackets were installed along Westfield Ave and Chestnut, because I know a few residents were reaching out to me about when that is, when they're going to see the banners. Again, our favorite term, it seems like, weather permitting. The banners will be up soon, well before Memorial Day. So let's keep our fingers crossed with this weather permitting. But all the brackets are in place for the banners. We just need the weather to permit it, and they're good to go, right? Yeah, a couple are up too. Good. I mean, that was the last thing Greg reached out and said, so cool. All right, I'm sorry. All right, lastly, I would like to inform the community that Roselle Park's Juneteenth festivities will be held on June 14th, 2025, and will be hosted by the Diversity and Inclusion Committee. So please mark your calendars, and I hope to see you guys there. I'm looking forward to attending this event myself, another good event. If anyone needs to get in contact with me for anything, please reach out to me at gjohnson@rosellepark.net, or you could call me 908-303-1519, and Mayor, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Signorella.
Good evening. I also attended the May 3rd opening of the car wash. Great to see that facility open. Not only it looks like it's adding to beautification of Westfield Ave and a good service for the community, but it looks nice too when it's closed up at night. So I just want to say it looks nice. Madam President, Mayor, if I missed something, I just want to thank a couple of businesses for the, if you could follow up, please. We had a major fire in Roselle Park May 10th, last Saturday. No one got hurt. And none of the firemen or the mutual aid, nobody got hurt, which is a blessing. I'd like to shout out to Dunkin' Donuts in Roselle Park and to Sunrise Diner for offering some donuts and coffee. And I told Roseanne that I said, just get hamburgers. I've done this prior as a chief. Don't even get the cheese, get the hamburgers and some ketchup, and the firemen will be hungry, because it came in at 6:50 in the morning, and some of our guys from Roselle Park and the towns that surround us probably didn't get any breakfast. And I'll use my expression, having a nice hamburger was like having a quick meal at Ruth Chris. So the guys just liked enjoying the hamburger. But if you could follow up on whatever you have too, but thank you to the two businesses in Roselle Park. So that's all I have. You need to get hold of me, 908-721 6488. I do have one thing, whatever. It's been raining the last couple of days, and it's tough to cut your grass. But for you folks, that don't cut the grass, the code enforcement will be coming after you. So we're going to try to be a little wise, and because you can't cut the grass, but you know who you are if you're not cutting your grass, and we'll be knocking on your door. So thank you.
Thank you,
End of
sir.
my report.
Thank you. Councilman Jay.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Roselle Park. Last month, the Borough Council approved a resolution I'd sponsored urging state officials to revisit New Jersey's current police pursuit guidelines. As they stand, these restrictions limit our officers' ability to respond effectively to organized crimes, such as catalytic converter thefts, home break-ins, and vehicle burglaries. Too often, officers are prohibited from pursuing suspects, which allows criminals to escape, reoffend, and jeopardize the safety of our neighborhoods. While a revision was passed to remove the following statement, whereas the Borough of Roselle Park supports its police department and desires that its officers be granted appropriate discretion in pursuing suspects involved in these crimes, particularly when part of a pattern or when suspects pose a threat to public order, I remain hopeful that a resolution sends a clear message to our state legislators. The intent was not to override the Attorney General's directive, but rather to advocate for greater support for our officers, who must often make critical, split-second decisions in dangerous situations. We can't afford to handcuff our officers from doing their jobs. I urge state leaders to invest in advanced law enforcement tools, technology, and training, as well as community safety programs. I also hope they consider increasing penalties for repeat offenders who continue to endanger our communities. Now that the heavy stuff is out of the way. On Saturday, May 3rd, it was an eventful day. Like most of my colleagues here, they acknowledged it was great to welcome yet another business investing in our town with the grand opening of Team Car Wash's 13th location right here in Roselle Park. Following the ribbon cutting, my son and I, which he had his birthday yesterday, so happy birthday, buddy. My son and I attended the annual bike clinic and toured Roselle Park, an event I began 4 years ago that has grown in interest every year and highlights not only the need for safe and open spaces, but being responsible when sharing the road. It's a necessity for our growing families, commuters, and students alike. So a big thank you to our event partners, Bob's Bicycle Service, New Jersey Bike and Walk Coalition, Safe Kids Union County, and Westfield Regional Health Department for donating helmets, bike lights, and giveaways. And thank you to Acting Mayor Lyons for attending, and to all the families who came out. Just this week, we also saw another business light up its open sign. Salento House Coffee Shop, right here across from Borough Hall, going back to the business segment. They're serving up coffee, sandwiches, and Colombian treats like empanadas, fresh breads, and puff pastries. Stop by and check them out. And as Mr. Belushi mentioned at our last meeting, there's a new deli market coming to the Fifth Ward once the Hunter Lofts project wraps up. It's awesome to see so many people chasing the American dream and investing here in Roselle Park. We're seeing the start of something new, another dream coming to life right here in our town. On May 8th, it was the CPAG meeting that I attended via Zoom featuring a presentation on Handle with Care techniques, which means treating children with special needs, students with special needs, with patience, understanding, and safety in mind, especially when they're having a difficult time. On May 9th, I had the opportunity, alongside Jackie Garcia, our borough's transportation liaison, and Union County Transportation Advisory Board's second vice chair, to participate in the NJDOT's stakeholder session for the state's upcoming bicycle and pedestrian master plan. We voiced local concerns and priorities to help shape a more bike and pedestrian-friendly future across New Jersey. We've got a couple upcoming events that I want to share, and the first two are right here in the Fifth Ward. Community Garden is opening up on Saturday, May 17th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Valley Road. And stop by as we open the Community Garden, space for neighbors to grow, gather, and connect. Also happening on Saturday, May 17th, the Roselle Park Youth Baseball and Softball League Family Fun Day. It's going to be held from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Wolf Field on West Webster Avenue. Enjoy games, activities, food, and community fun for all ages. On Sunday, May 18th, from 11 to 5, we have the Union County Touch a Truck event at Oak Ridge Park in Clark. It is a free event featuring trucks, emergency vehicles, hay rides, inflatables, and food trucks. It's a great day for the kids. We also have a business mixer, wine and cheese night on Wednesday, May 21st, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at M&T Bank in Union at the 5 Points. It's hosted by the Chamber of Commerce and M&T Bank. This free event offers a great networking opportunity for our local business community. For details, call 908-687-0240. Then I'm just going to announce a few save the dates. We've got the community cool downs on July 8th, 15th, 22nd, and 29th. So be sure to beat the heat this summer with our weekly community cool down events throughout July. And the swim night at Clark Pool will be held on Wednesday, August 6th. Bring the family for a fun evening of swimming and relaxation. Councilman Petrosky had brought up the firehouse additions in the Fifth Ward. I look forward to seeing the design and plans so I can share this with our Fifth Ward residents that I represent. And before I conclude, I'd like to recognize Acting Mayor, Council President Lyons, for running tonight's meeting. You did a great job. And I'd also like to wish her mom that I see here in the audience, and of course my wife and all the moms here in Roselle Park a very happy Mother's Day coming up. That's pretty much it. That concludes my report. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, you can reach out to me at jrabine@rosellepark.net, 862-236-0019. Acting Mayor Lyons, thank you. Roselle Park, thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Councilman Jay. Councilman Conjon.
Good evening, everyone. I'm excited to share our community garden would officially open this Saturday at 10 a.m., weather permitting, everyone's favorite word. We invite all residents to join as we begin planting our seedlings. Whether you're a garden renter or just want to get involved, we'd love to see you there. We're also in early stages of planning a kids movie event at the Casano Center this June. Stay tuned for more details coming very soon. On topic of tree trimmings, I've received several residents' requests, so I just want to inform you, the Department of Public Works has already started working on the southeast side of the town, and they'll be trimming street by street unless there is an urgent safety issue that requires immediate attention. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to me via email at kpatel@rosellepark.net. And the last note, I know Mayor Sig would be proud that we're ending by 8 p.m. today, so I just want to let you know.
And we're going. Okay, so we got to close in 5 minutes. All right, here we go. I won't be long. Good evening, Roselle Park. Good evening, council. Good evening, everyone, residents of Roselle Park. And yes, we shout out to Mayor Joe, and hopefully he's getting some needed rest, and he'll be back soon. Before I start my report, I do want to acknowledge my mom is here, my family, my cousin Maria, my cousin Nicola, so I appreciate you being here. I sit here today, oh God, I didn't want to be emotional, but that's just who I am. I am so appreciative and humble and honored, really, of being here and serving the community. My heart from day one was not about me. It was really about the residents of this community. Growing up here in Roselle Park is really my heart. I mentioned my dad, who is in heaven, my grandparents from Calabria, Italy. Okay, I got to shout you out. But I say that, and I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. Without them and their sacrifices, we wouldn't be here in America, and I would not be here in this moment. And also to my daughter, who is graduating from Drew University this Saturday. She is the joy of my life, and the mission, she really gave me such just motivation and inspiration, and she still does, and I'm in awe of her. So I say that to say, as acting mayor, this week, we started out really on Saturday, as Councilman Signorella said, with a tragic event. And I just want to thank definitely the Roselle Park Fire Department, the Police Department, and several people that I just wrote down: Sergeant Coca, Rich Belusho, Chief Farino, EMS. All the neighboring towns really came to our aid, and that's huge, because as I literally walked there from my house, it was 2 blocks away, and you seeing that atmosphere, it really sobers you up, how life is so precious, number one, and how we need each other. Without people and without the help that we have, whether it be in the town and from surrounding towns, it was a more of a revelation moment of just the importance of that and the importance of unity. I also want to thank Kathleen Pava, if I'm saying her name correctly. What is it? Pava? Am I saying that right? I know her. Kathleen Pava. She came out. She was bringing water and drinks and everything, and she actually drove me around to get some food. And just like Councilman Signorella said, from Dunkin' Donuts and Sunrise, they were more than willing to help, and we were able to give some food and drinks to everyone there, and especially the families that were going through things. Obviously, they with their home. I just, we definitely are there for them. And I also want to thank the community, because once the community found out, and you guys are really wanting to help. So please look out. I'm going to either be posting it tonight. We are collecting gift cards for the families, for clothes and food, and just hold on for that. I'll be giving that information. I also want to announce that we will be doing a women's night on May 30th. Please let me know if you're coming, because the list is growing and I want to have a seat for you. It's going to be at 7 p.m. at Costa's. It is a dinner and a show. Please, you're more than welcome. All are welcome. And if you say to yourself, I am by myself, I don't know anybody, you'll make friends. Also, the Memorial Day Parade is coming at 10 a.m. and hopefully we will have a beautiful sunshiny day, and we will all be out there. I think that might be, okay. Let me see. Well, the summer's coming, so we definitely want to see you around and have you come out. So just one final message, I guess, is just don't be afraid to begin again. If 8 years ago, someone would have said to me, this is what you're going to be doing, I would have never believed it. And for me, I always take a step forward into things, and I'm adventurous in that way. And I just say that because I'm truly honored to be here as acting mayor, and to really be here for the town. Like I said, it's not about me, but it's really about you all, and informing you and being there for you. And I'll say this, when I said yes to actually run for council, I remember walking through, the streets and going up to someone and an older gentleman said, well, if you want to help me with this tree branch. And I did. I was able to call someone. Councilman Petrowski, I think, was with me. And it was the smallest little gesture, but we were able to help him. And I know it's a tree branch to you and saying it's not huge, but to him it was. And I remember driving past and he was very thankful. And I'm just saying, when we could do something for each other, definitely do it. Be kind. And that's the end of my report. Thank you so much, everyone. And, okay, hold on. I got to finish the meeting. I apologize for not being 100%, but
Could I just say you're doing better than Mayor Sig?
thank you, Andrew. And I thank Andrew.
I've got tenure, so I can say whatever I want.
Mayor,
He's
we
not
love you.
watching.
Thank you. And I thank you, Andrew, for coaching me through. Even a couple days ago, I was like, all right, let me get some coaching for it. But, okay. May I have a motion to open the public portion on any subject?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
If you would like to speak, please come forward to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. Mom, you want to come up? I had to say that. You want to come up? Get on the microphone. Okay. May I have a motion to close the...
Mill?
You'd like to come up? Yes, please come.
Milt Woodruff, Roselle Park. I have some questions. I'm looking for some clarification in terms of the status of the property at the Board of Ed on Chestnut Street. Rumor going around about they're going to sell it, they're not going to sell it, they're going to move it. What's the status of that right now?
Want me to answer?
Yes, please.
So right now, from the borough's perspective, it's drawing a redevelopment plan for that property. It's been designated an area in need of redevelopment. What the Board of Education chooses to do with that property is their prerogative. There's been a discussion about a sale or a land swap. Ultimately, that would have to be authorized by the Board of Education. What the borough is doing is looking at that property from the perspective of what use would be most valuable there. And currently, we're drafting a plan, and candidly, I don't even have a draft of the plan that I could tell you what's in it.
Well, it would seem like something that should be considered, keeping that property there and also putting additional classrooms there to meet our problems that we have with having children in the schools. Classrooms might be an ideal spot there. Because one of the stories going around is that they would move them over to the property on Colonial Road and maybe even put the Board of Ed there and also put in the preschool there. But that, to me, seems like an awful silly idea because, number one, the parking there is terrible, and number two, there's no playground there for a preschool to be on that property on Colonial Road. So that would seem like that. Then where are you going to move the Board of Ed to? And we missed the feedback on the storage situation. That's going to go on the going to be on the referendum.
Have an answer?
Yes.
So the process for that would be at the last meeting, the governing body authorized putting it out to bid, basically to sell the system, to authorize getting bids for a purchaser. Once we receive bids, if the governing body is inclined to award a bid, They would do so by ordinance, and that ordinance, if it gets adopted, there's an estoppel period subject to ratification by the voters at a referendum. So if we are able to line up the timing, it would be on the November ballot. If not, it would be next year in 2026.
Well, what are the advantages of selling it? I don't get that.
Oh, so there's a couple, I don't want to take up your time, but do you have another question? I can answer that, but I don't want to take your time.
Okay then. No, I give up.
Do you want me to answer?
Thank you for your ear.
We can answer.
I'll answer. I just don't want to take up your time if you have other questions.
No,
Okay.
I have a few more, but that one is much more important
So,
than all the other ones.
So there are a couple of benefits to selling the system, right? And there's pros and cons, as with everything in life, right? The pros would be twofold. One, we are operating at some points in the system 120 years old, 125 years old. Some of them are original infrastructure that is well beyond its useful life, and at a critical point where I'm not saying it's going to fail tomorrow or that we even think it's going to fail tomorrow, but it could. And those failures cost anywhere from $50,000 to well into the six figures, right? So if you have a quasi-private entity running it, they have capital that they can spread out among, sorry, your time's going to run out and it's going to blare. They have capital that they can invest far beyond the reaches of the borough, right? When a catastrophic incident happens in our system, we can only spread it out amongst the ratepayers of Roselle Park. Whereas when you have a quasi-private entity like New Jersey American Water, like Suez or United Water or whatever they're called now, right? You have these private entities that do this as a matter of business. They can spread out those burdens amongst their entire territory.
We got money from the state though. Then we get $3 million to help go towards.
So there's like I said, there's two main benefits to selling the system. The one is capital investment in the system that the borough wouldn't otherwise be able to afford. The second, and maybe the thing that would be on everybody's mind, is what are you buying it for? What are you going to get in the initial acquisition price, right? Is it $1 million? Is it $5 million? Is it $50 million? We have a semblance of an idea with some of our professionals to what our system is worth. It depends on the terms of the deal. If you limit the amount that investor or that buyer would be able to raise in rates, you're probably going to get a lower acquisition price. But let's say it's $5 million, right? Let's just right for argument's sake. If we have a bidder that comes in at $5 million, it gets awarded by the governing body, and the voters say, absolutely, we're gonna sell it. We close on the deal, we get $5 million. Statute provides that money has to pay off the debt that is on the utility that you're conveying. Currently, we have very minimal debt on our utility.
Right.
Secondary to the utility would be the debt service of the municipality as a whole. So we would take that money and we would have to manage it in a way where those funds would go toward the payment of debt service of the municipality, which is millions of dollars a year. And again, we've had this conversation and conceptualized. You probably wouldn't want to spend, let's call it $5 million. You wouldn't want to spend necessarily $5 million over the course of 2 years,
We do,
right?
with our
You would want to manage it so that you can hedge the ebbs and flows of your debt service over time. And that's an analysis we would have to do, but you need to know what money you're working with first.
The cash flow analysis seems to suggest that our town right now has a healthy budget surplus. And also, I believe, didn't we get $3 million from the state to go towards the storage problem?
So I can answer that. I will say you're out of time, but I'll answer your question going backwards. So the $3 million we did receive, we used that as part of this year's budgeting process to restabilize the utility, lower the rates that we charge out to the ratepayers, and bring us back into historical norms of billing. So that $3 million has been completely utilized already to restabilize the sewer compared to what we had to deal with last year with
But
the
there was
loss.
a $600,000 surplus in the storage account.
I actually don't know what you're referencing, but I'm sorry.
It was in the town budget for the year end.
I
Anyway, Hal, thank you for your information.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone else? I see no one. Okay. May I have a motion to close the public portion on any subject?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
There are no matters for closed session this evening. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all.
Nice job.